This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.
This is the Noon Barbados Today update for Monday, February 17th, 2014. I'm Dawn Paris. With Prime Minister Fundell Stewart ignoring the call to get rid of his finance minister, opposition leader Mia Mottley is about to make her move. She says she'll use her constitutional position to launch further action this week. Addressing the latest People's Assembly at the Graydon Sealy Secondary School last night, Mottley said what she does next will not only be based on Stewart's failure to respond, but on last week's IMF report on the Barbados economy. It was at last week's People's Assembly that she gave the Prime Minister 1 week to fire Sinckler or leave office or face unspecified action.
Now that the IMF report is over and out, now that the Prime Minister has shown his hand to express confidence in the management of Sinckler's management of the economy, it is my wish and intention now formally to ask to meet with the unions and the private sector agencies of this country. I will start to do so formally, not as Mia Mottley, but on behalf of the leader of Her Majesty's opposition and the Barbados Party.
Mottley says the leadership of the National Union of Public Workers has already agreed to be the first agency within the social partnership to meet her this week. And also at that People's Assembly, political scientist George Bell stuck to his guns that the government of Barbados can be brought down at any time, but he's not suggesting that it be done by any disruptive methods.
There could be an appeal to the conscience of the parliamentarians in Parliament in relation to the kind of crisis that we are facing right now, and that on the basis of that appeal, that some of those parliamentarians may decide to vote independently or to cross the floor. And if that should happen and they vote against the government would fall.
After remaining undisturbed for over 2 centuries in a British cellar, 3 bottles from a cache of the world's oldest rum are being returned to Barbados. Mount Gay Distilleries Limited, officially the world's oldest rum distiller, successfully purchased the bottles of historic Barbados rum, which date back to 1780, when a total of 12 bottles were auctioned last December by Christie's in London. Now officially recognized as the oldest and most famous rum in the world, the bottles will be returned to their native land sometime this month. They'll be unveiled for all to see and placed in an exhibit for both Barbadians and visitors to appreciate. Sports Minister Stephen Lashley says the National Stadium is in for some refurbishment. He says while there needs to be a new stadium, some attention has to be paid in the meantime to the upkeep and maintenance of the existing facility.
I've asked the National Sports Council to devise in the short term a more robust maintenance program for the National Stadium to ensure that until we can have the kind of facility that I know Barbados deserves, that the National Stadium can be maintained and improved. There are some areas that we need to pay attention to, but of course we have to look at it within the context of available resources. And I just said that because of course we're about to start the secondary schools championships. The track is ready.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Catch the sun power.
In Antigua and Barbuda, the main opposition Antigua Labour Party says it has developed a blueprint for generating employment in the country within 100 days if it wins the next general election, which is widely expected by mid-March. ALP leader Gaston Brown says the party has already agreed on a number of initiatives that would be implemented within the first 3 months of coming to office. Internationally now, Swiss police have arrested the co-pilot of an Ethiopian Airlines plane. He hijacked the airliner this morning and flew it to Geneva, Switzerland to seek asylum. All 202 passengers and crew who were flying from the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa to Rome were safe. Reports indicate that the Ethiopian co-pilot, who's in his 30s, locked himself in the cockpit and took control of the plane when the pilot went to the restroom. He landed the plane in Geneva, climbed down from the cockpit window using a rope and gave himself up to police. And that's been the noon update. Join us again at 6 this evening. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and like us on Facebook to get more news and sports. I'm Dawn Paris.
This news update is brought to you by...
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.